Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good morning everyone. So how are you guys doing today? Are you feeling good? Okay, great. I'm glad to hear that you are very excited and ready for today's lesson. Okay, so today will be our literature lesson. Yes, I'm sure that you are excited to learn literature, right? Okay, so let's start. Okay, but before that, I have a one word to show to all of you, and I want you to give your opinion or what you understand about this one word. Okay, so after that, we are going to talk about things that are related to that word. Okay, so can you see this word that I have pasted here? Okay, great. So I want all of you to pronounce this word first. Okay, hero. Yes, hero. So, what do you understand about hero? When you listen to the word hero, what comes into your mind? Do you have any idea or do you want to share something? Hero is someone that is brave. Yes, somehow it is correct. Okay, who else want to share your opinion about hero, or what do you understand about when you see this word hero? A Superman? Yes, a Superman also can be a hero. Okay, hero is someone that you look up for, someone that you admire. Okay, because maybe that person has done something great for you, something that you are thankful to them. So, hero is someone that you admire. Okay, and who can be your hero? Okay, anyone have the idea of who can be your hero? Hero can be anyone. Okay, any person that you think that she or he is very admirable, someone that leave a great impression to you. Maybe someone that have saved you before from any incident or anything. That person, okay, can be your father or your mother or your siblings or your teacher. Okay, if you want to say that, oh, my teacher is my hero or my father is my hero, yes, you can say that, because when you say that this person is your hero, you must have a reason why you say that. Okay, so why I introduce you this word is because today we are going to learn a poem. Okay, a poem entitled My Hero. Okay, so I believe that all of you has this book with you, your Poetry for Pleasures. Okay, so in this book, you will get to find the poem entitled My Hero. Okay, so I want everyone to turn to page 27 and we are going to recite the poem together. Okay, my hero. My dad's as brave as a dad can be. I rate him number one. He's not afraid of the dead of night or anything under the sun. He's not afraid of a late night film full of horrors on telly. And is he afraid of skeletons? Not that. Not on your Nelly. He's not afraid of meeting ghosts. He'd even smile and greet them. And things that scare most dads the most, my dad could just defeat them. He's not afraid of vampires or a wolf man come to get him. If Frankenstein's monster knocked on our door, he wouldn't let that upset him. My dad's as brave as a dad can be, and he's always ready to prove it. So why, when a spider's in the bath, does mom have to come and remove it? Okay, so just now we have recited the poem. Okay, so we are going to look at the meaning of the poem. What are actually being conveyed by the poet in this poem? Okay, so this poem entitled My Hero, written by Willis Hall. Okay, so this poem has 5 stanzas and it was written by Willis Halls. This poem is actually telling us about a persona, okay, a persona of this poem, the one that is telling about his or her hero. Okay, so who do you think the persona is in this poem? Yes, the persona might be a child who is talking about his or her hero. So, based on this poem, who is the hero to this child? Can anyone tell me? Yes, you can find in this poem. Persona's hero in this poem is actually his or her dad. Okay, why does the persona say that his or her dad is a hero? In these 5 stanzas of this poem, we can find the reason why the persona said the hero is the dad. So now we are going to look at the meaning of each stanza. This poem tells us about the persona's father, who is not afraid of anything and he is very brave. The first stanza tells us that the father is not afraid of the dead of night, meaning that the father is very brave even though the night is very dark. In the second stanza, he is not afraid of a late night film, or we can say that the dad is not afraid of horror movies. The next stanza, which is stanza 3, tells us that he is not afraid of meeting ghosts. Even if the father will have to face the ghost, he is not afraid and he would just defeat them. In the fourth stanza, we can find that the dad is not afraid of vampires or any ugly creatures that he faced. He would just face them with courage. And the last stanza, ironically, even the dad is being described to be very brave, but he also has his weak side. Okay, based on the last stanza, we can find that one thing that the dad is afraid. Okay, who can tell me what is the thing that the dad afraid of? Okay, anyone? Yes, he is afraid of spider. Why we say that the father is afraid of spider is because we can find it in the last stanza of the poem in the last 2 lines. So why, when a spider is in a bath, does mom have to come and remove it? Meaning that even if the father is being described to be very brave because he is not afraid of the ghosts, the vampires, the horror movies, but he actually has one thing that he is afraid of, which is the spider. Okay, we can say that one of the father's weaknesses is the fear of spiders. Perhaps he is afraid of small insects such as the spider. So just now we have looked at the meaning of the poems. Okay, what are the messages portrayed in this poem? So now you are going to focus on 3 things, so the first one is the theme. Okay, theme is the main idea, or it can be ideas of the poem. So meaning that when you are reading a poem, you can actually find the ideas or the messages that are being conveyed by the poet in that particular poem. Okay, so the next one is the character. The character is the subjects. Okay, it can be more than one subjects in the poem or any literary work. So when you are focusing on poem, you have to identify the characters of the poem. The character can be a person, an animal, or an object. So it depends on the poet. So we call them as the subjects of the poem. Okay, so characteristic is the traits or the characterization of the characters that you have found in a poem. For example, if you are reading a poem, then you have found that there are several characters in that poem. You can also find the characteristic of each character. The examples of characteristic of character can be brave, kind, loving. So you have to identify the characteristic of the character by reading through the poem. These three things, theme, character, and characteristic, are the elements that you are going to focus on for today's lesson. This will be related to your next activity. Okay, so just now we have looked at the meaning of the poem and also the three things that you are going to identify in this poem, which are, number one is, yes, theme. Number two is the characters. And number three is the characteristics of the character. Okay, so what I want you to do is to create a mind map. Okay. You have to create a mind map to list down all the three components that we have learned just now: the theme, the character, and also the characteristic. Alright, you can do this activity in pairs, but I want each of you to have your own mind map. You can discuss with your pair to find out the theme, the characters, and also the characteristics that you have found in the poem. But you have to do your own mind map on a piece of paper that I am going to give you after this. And we are going to discuss on the theme, the characters, and also the characteristic that you have found in the poem together after you have completed doing this mind map. Okay, everyone. So we have done the first activity, which is mind mapping. Okay, so we have discussed about the theme, the characters, and also the characteristics of the characters in that poem just now. So we have completed the first activity. So the next one is a group activity. Okay, so I will divide all of you to be in a group of 4 randomly. Okay, I'll give you a piece of paper after this, so you have to look at the numbers written on that paper. If you get number 1, then you will be in group 1. If you get number 2, 3, or 4, then you will be in the assigned group. So what are you going to do with your group members is to write a poem. Okay, your poem is entitled My Hero as well, but you have to do your own version. Okay, you can choose anyone to be described as your hero. Okay, so I am going to give you one mahjong paper for each group. So what you have to do is to choose a hero. It can be anyone that you love, and write a poem describing your hero. Okay, you can discuss with your friends to decide who will be your hero and write a poem about him or her. You have to use your own words and ideas in writing the poem. Okay, so after you have finished writing the poem, you are going to present your poem in front of the class by reading it aloud together with all your group members. Okay, so are you clear with that? If you have any questions or you are facing difficulties in writing the poem, just raise up your hand and I'll go to you to explain. Okay? Now you have finished writing the poems, right? Okay, so what I want to do is each of the group will have to come in front of the class and present your poem. I want all the group members to come to the front and recite the poems together aloud. Okay? So the others will have to give your attention to your friend's presentation. Alright? Okay, let's start the presentation. Okay, so just now we have watched all the presentations by the groups, right? So I think you have done a great job in writing the poem and also in reciting the poem together with your friends. Okay, so good job on that. I really appreciate your hard work in doing the activity just now. So well done, everyone. So we have now finished all the activities and we are about to end the lesson. So before I end my lesson, I would like to recap what we have learned today. So what have we learned today? Yes, we learned about a poem entitled My Hero. Other than that, Yes, we learn about themes, characters, and also characteristics. So I hope that after this, if we are going to learn another poem, you can identify the theme, the characters, and the characteristics of the character in the poems that we are going to learn. Okay? So great job, everyone. Thank you so much for your cooperation, and well done. And see you again in the next class.